thinking of balance, but from a different viewpoint tonight. We're thinking of it from the balance of using twists. Twists we have to do on both sides, obviously. And so we come back to center after each side and find the center point and then take the other side. If you only did one side, you'd obviously end up walking around like this. So we're trying to balance and feel the two different sides work together. So standing in Tadasana, let's just take a 3-part breath to start with, just so that we bring ourselves to the mat and find our core, because that's what we're going to be twisting through. So start at the top on your chest, just upper chest, and pop your 2 middle fingers, just touching each other. Let the elbows soften, let the shoulders soften, drawn away from the ears. Remember your posture points here. Find your feet first of all, have a wiggle at your toes, make sure you're not leaning into your toes. Draw your tummies in and let your bottom tuck under a little bit. And then think of your heart, which is just below your hands at the moment. So we're going to draw the heart forward and up slightly, and the back then contracts between your shoulder blades. And then the chin, my chin's very tipped at the moment, so I need to draw it up a little bit and back so that I find that length at the back of the neck moving up into the skull. Okay, so starting, inhale and exhale through your nostrils for your count of 4, and take 3 into the upper chest, into your hands. So breathing in for 4, through both nostrils, just up, upper chest here, not too low, and then exhale for 4. Feel the body start to swell and soften with the breath. Continue 2 more breaths on the upper chest. Sometimes it's quite hard to contain it to the upper chest because we're much deeper breathers than most people are in yoga. Try and just move the muscles in the upper chest as you breathe. Still able to take that length. When you finish your exhale on about the 3rd one, bring your hands down to just clasping just the bottom of your ribs in the palm of your hands and middle fingers together again. Go back over the posture points again, just make sure you haven't let go. Let the elbows soften again, let the shoulders soften down from the ears, and then take 3 breaths into the ribs. So inhale, exhale through your nose for 4, your count. Just feel the ribs swell under your hands. Also thinking about the back of the ribs. A little bit easier because you can take the breath a little bit lower through the body now. So we're using that diaphragm that we spoke about yesterday. And after your next exhale, we're moving the hands down then to the belly. So below the belly button, the lower belly really. So we've got our thumbs about the belly button height and our fingers, middle fingers together again. This time we're going to inhale, exhale, and we're going to take the breath right down and feel the belly rise and fall with the inhale, exhale. So when you're ready, your count of 4 again. Really enjoy a long, smooth, deep breath right down. And then exhale it slowly, slowly back up right through. So really we're not breathing obviously into the belly, just continue. We're actually breathing into the diaphragm again, which is that movement we spoke of yesterday, which it moves down and makes your belly pop out really. So the breath's still in our lungs in the upper part of the body. But when you feel the belly swell, just continue a couple more breaths. When you feel the belly swell and soften, it means you're deep breathing. You're using all of your breath. You're using the whole area and you're breathing properly into the diaphragm, and that's really important in times of COVID. Okay, so after your next exhale, release. And then just have a little bit of a swing out before we start our twists. So we've found a bit of space there in our body with the breath. Just now loosening up and find a bit of flexibility. You need both space and flexibility to be able to twist properly. And then come to a standstill, and we're just going to move our shoulders a little bit and open them. So take your right arm, cross your upper chest. Take your left arm, fold it over your forearm, not your upper arm. Let's go easy at the moment. And then just think of drawing the right arm closer a little bit towards you. Both palms are facing backwards, and you should just feel a gentle opening on your right shoulder. Might want to lift your left elbow a little bit and see the sensation changes slightly on the back of your shoulder then. And then release. Same thing other side, just a gentle opening of the shoulder girdle. So the shoulder girdle is used a lot as well when we twist. We twist hips, waist, bellies, chests, shoulder girdle. Use a lot of the whole of our spine in our twists. Okay, so release. So the other thing that we need, as I say, is space. So we're going to do a couple of openings, side bends here. So inhale your left arm up and think about armpit to hip, and slide your right armpit down to hip. And feel that space open on your left side body. Don't go too far the first time. Come up. Let the left arm come down. Inhale the right arm up. Find that length in your side body. And then exhale over to your left. Armpit to hip, sliding down. Not folding at the waist. We've got that contraction and opening. Come back up to the top. Just take a couple more in your own time. Thinking of expanding upwards before you bend over. Not really bending, it's contracting and opening rather than bending. Extending before a twist is really important as well as side bending. Otherwise, the spine doesn't have anywhere to go. The joints are too close together. Okay, so we're going to take 3 little twists here. So we're going to stand nice and even feet directly under your hips. So make it shoulder width apart here. And just take your hands up in front of you, palms facing towards you, arms are at shoulder height. I'm going to take Robin Hood. We're going to let the twist go right down to our feet in Robin Hood. Peggy, you'll just follow this one quite easily. We're going to take the left arm stays where it is, fingers pointing forward. We take the right elbow back at shoulder height, but start to let everything start to twist with that elbow. Let the feet come with you. Your feet stay still probably, but you right through to your ankle, just really like you're going through treacle tonight. Don't worry too much about the breath and opening here. Just think of moving really gently, slow motion, and come back to the front. So left elbow goes back. We've let the twist start to happen, but we're letting the hips and everything move with the twist, right down to your ankles. When you get as far as you think you can, then let your left arm open up behind you. Maybe look towards your fingers. And then a big semicircle with the left arm. Slowly, slowly, slowly come back to the front. Okay, so we've got Robin Hood now. Now we're going to just bring our feet together. And we're going to bend slightly at the knees into a kind of chair position. So feet together this time, and same thing. Really slowly, take the elbow back on the right side. Feel the balance now. Watch what's happening in your feet. Take the right arm back behind you. Watch where the twist goes to. And then big semicircle to the front. Keep the tummy tucked in. Other side, left elbow back. Gently opening up the arm. Maybe the head turns as well with the spine. And then a big semicircle back to the front. Let the arms come down for a second, straighten the legs, just have a bit of a roll out through your shoulders. We're going to take that one now as we normally do it, with our feet shoulder width apart, and then take the bottom backwards, tuck the tummy and come back into chair. We did this yesterday. Think of how you sat down in the chair. So zip up the front body. We don't want to be curving forward. We want to be long front body, but the sit bones are going backwards and down. Okay, so arms in front of us again, shoulder height. Let's try that twist now. So just taking your own time, breathe as you want to. Extend behind you. Look behind you if you can. Big semicircle back to the front. Watch what's happening with your tummy and your chest. Make sure you stay up nice and tall and long in the front body. Onto the left side. So your feet can't move in this position, quite different. Sorry, somebody's just coming in. Drop the hands down, straighten your legs, take a rest, and we'll just let someone in. Okay. So there was 3 different ways here. Which one did you prefer? Maybe tonight you want the gentle one at the start, which is much more flexible. Maybe you want the feet together, or maybe you find the hip distance one. Feet together actually should be the hardest one for balance point of view, but actually it might be easier to twist. So choose the one you want and take one more go of whichever one you felt was the one you needed tonight. I'm going to do the normal one. Think about your tummy, think about tucking that tailbone. Take the right arm back slowly first. Allow yourself to twist with it as much as you need to. No stoppages, no stalls, nothing that it's sticking out. We're thinking of twisting as much as your body needs to twist through the spine. So you don't want to stop at any point. You want to let the spine flow as you open up and twist. So that's probably one of the harder twists we'll do tonight. So that's easy peasy. Okay, let the arms come down. So that was just to feel, we're going to do 2 or 3 different ways of twists tonight on each pose, just to see how you feel and which one resonates mostly for you. Okay, so let's take a roll down now to the mat. So slowly, hip distance apart, tuck the tummy, tuck the chin, let the arms just dangle on the legs and roll down slowly. Soften the knees, let the head just hang, let the shoulders start to hang. Come down into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Bend the knees until the hands are actually touching the floor. Let the belly soften onto the thighs if necessary. Let the head hang, let go of the shoulders. And then maybe pop your hands on the floor and see if you can just take your bottom up a little bit higher. Just opening your legs a little bit more. And then we're going to come down to tabletop. So hands on the floor, open the eyes, look along the floor, and then bring your knees down to tabletop. Otherwise you get a bit dizzy if you move suddenly from Uttanasana. Okay, so tabletop. We're thinking of spine because the spine is what we're going to be using to twist now. So we want to get it a little bit more mobile. So we're going to think of cat-cow. So begin in tabletop in neutral spine, find your posture points, we've been doing them a lot recently. And then inhale long and exhale from the tailbone into cat. So think of the back of your body, think of the spine opening up and finding space between the vertebrae on the back of the body, right through to your neck. Allow your head to drop. And then inhale and start to roll from the sit bones. And again, we're opening up the front of the spine here. So imagine your spinal column opening up spaces between all the vertebrae. Maybe let your throat open a little bit as well, but don't crunch your neck. Back into cat. On the exhale, if we're going with the breath. Try and move nice and slowly tonight. Feel every vertebrae. And then back into cow when you're ready. Moving from the sit bones first. Feel it ripple through up into cow. And then sit back for a moment in Balasana. Okay, so in Balasana, bring your elbows to the floor. So soft Balasana. Lift your head gently off the floor for a second, and then move your weight into your right arm. So you're starting to move over towards the right. Bottoms are still down, but you'll take the weight off your left arm. We're going into a bit of a twist here. So push into your left hand and straighten that arm on the floor and look towards your left side. Just a gentle twist. So elbow then comes down on the left side, rock over, straighten the right arm and look over to the right side. Elbow comes down, back over to the left. And down and back over to your right. Okay, so then head to the floor for a second. We're going to take the hands out in front of us, extend. Lift the head slightly. We're going to do our twisted Balasana here. Side bend Balasana more really. It's called twisted, but walk your hands over to the left. So we're coming into a bit of a stretchy side bend feeling, so not really a twist, although it's called Parvrtti Balasana, often known Uttita Balasana, hands above us. And then walk back to the centre, feeling pedantic tonight, and then walk over to the right. Have a bit of a stretch through your left side body then. And then walk back over to the left, still extended, and move your weight into your right hand, push into your left hand again, and then look under your left armpit. So a bit of a twist coming in here now. And then let that go, walk back over to the right. Weight moves into the left hand this time, extending, pushing gently through your right hand and look under your left armpit. So you're looking down towards your bottom really. Mine has raised quite a bit, I've noticed, but that's fine. Let your body do what it feels like to go with it. Then come back to the centre. Got what I'm doing now. And then we're going to come down onto our backs. I told you it was a lot of up and down tonight. Put it in. So find yourself on your back. And then bring your feet so flat to the floor, about the width of the mat. But take them as far away from your hips. So extend your legs as much as you can but keeping your feet flat on the floor and the width of the mat. So crawl down until you feel that your toes are starting to lift, and then draw back a little bit so you feel your feet still on the floor. Okay, so now we're just going to windscreen wipe in this position. So start to rock through your hips, massaging across the lower back. And just slowly windscreen wipe your legs. With maybe a little bit further each time. Just go as far as it feels comfortable. But just notice where the twist is as we're doing this. Where are you feeling the twist? Should be really low down, quite low down, maybe even into your thighs rather than your lower body. Obviously having to twist through your waist as well. And then stop in the neutral, and then walk your feet in about a foot length closer. Still the width of the mat, feet still flat to the floor, hands out to the side, and then take another couple of windscreen wipers in this position. And just notice where the twist is moving up to now. Nice feeling in your lower back, this one, if you've sat all day in a chair. And then come back to neutral and bring the feet in a little bit closer then. Still hit the width of the mat. And again, windscreen wiper. And see what's happening now. Has it moved up through your belly a little bit more? Is your abdominal muscles having to switch on a bit more to stop the legs flopping over? Okay, so then come to neutral. Stretch the legs away one at a time. Let's have a full body stretch now. So legs come a little bit closer together, hip distance apart. Take your right arm above your head and elbow can be folded if you want to. And then stretch through your right heel and through your middle finger of your right hand. Reaching away and finding length between your pelvis and your ribs. And then let everything come back down to center. Same thing on the left side. Left side body stretch through your heel, through your middle fingers, really extending, and then release everything back to center. So bring your right knee into your chest now, and left leg still out there. You might want a brick here if you've got them handy. I should have said that. So if you catch a brick close by you, then do so. So you've got left leg extended, right knee, we're drawing in towards our chest in half Apanasana. So pop your hands on your shin or behind your thighs just for a second. Give your leg a squeeze, bringing that knee in towards chest. And then release it. And then pop your left hand on the outside of your right thigh. Right hand's on the floor to steady you, and you're just drawing that knee across your body towards the left side of the floor. So roll right over until your toes touch the floor. And then if you've got your brick and can grab it, you can roll it onto its side and just gently pop it under your sort of calf and thigh there. Just have something to support you. It can go even tall. If your knee's still quite high, you might have to hold it then. But the thing is just to let your shoulder come with you first of all in this. So how does that feel? Where is the twist and what's happening here? And notice what's happening to the lower hip as well as the upper hip. Is it holding on? So find your breath now and see if you can use the exhale to focus on that lower hip. So breathe down towards your belly again as you inhale, right down to the lower hip there, and then exhale and see if it will soften and let go a bit. So it knows it doesn't have to hold on. Take another breath and do the same thing. Feel that hip just soften and give a little bit more into the floor so that the leg starts to soften. And then take your focus to your top hip and breathe in again as deep as you can down to your belly. Focus on that top hip on the exhale and see if you can let it release a little bit more. So as they release, continue a couple of breaths just to see if you can let that top hip go. You might feel your leg moves a bit then, and you might need to release and move the brick with it. You might feel your clothes releasing a little bit. Feel movement in the material and the movement in the skin underneath. But just notice the effect the breath's having on releasing that part of your body. Okay, so we're going to move now. So you might want to grab that brick if you've got it, and we'll go to the other side. So draw that knee in towards your chest, engage your tummy muscles and roll back up to center. Do it slowly and then pop that foot to the floor and stretch your leg away and maybe have a full side body stretch in the right side again. Just releasing anything there that needs to be released. Same thing on the other side. Move the brick over, draw the left knee into chest. Have a little squeeze, either holding onto your thigh, behind your thigh, or on your shin. Have a little squeeze in half Apanasana on the left side. And then right hand goes to guide your thigh over until you roll with it. Let your shoulder come. We're not worrying about the shoulder in this twist at the moment. We're rolling over until the hips have rolled and they're almost stacked on top of each other. And then find that brick again and pop it under your knee. Your toe may be on the floor as well to support you here. So you'll have rolled right over onto your right hip now. So focus on that right hip and use the breath again. See if you can breathe right down to that area and exhale and see if you can let go of that lower hip a little bit. You'll find you're holding on all through that hip and waist on that side of your body, because what's happening is it's contracting to hold on for you. It thinks you're falling over. So you use your exhale to try and soften it. And then move your focus to the top hip. And again, deep breath in, right down to that area where we breathed before, belly breath. Focus on that hip as you exhale. So feel your hips sinking. And lowering deeper into the floor below them. And then we're going to come out to this side now that we've got into it. Draw the knee into the chest, engage your tummy muscles, roll back up to center. Pop that foot to the floor, let it slide away, take a full body stretch, lengthen out. And then we're going to come over onto our fronts now. So roll over onto your tummies. A lot of rolling about in this class tonight. And then we're going to push up into tabletop again. Bring your knees under your hips, feet straight behind you. Take your legs a little bit wider through now than hip distance apart. We're going to go into thread the needle, and it's always easier to do this twist with your knees slightly further apart. Feet are still going straight back though from the knees. Engage your tummy muscles, remember. We're going to move the weight again into the left hand, and then take the right hand, draw it along the floor outwards and make it into a big semicircle and lift it up to the right hand side above your head as far as you can without too much force. Not too much effort tonight, make it easeful. Draw it down very slowly, and then we're tracing it through under the left arm. That left elbow is bending as we lower down gently towards the floor. You might want to bring your brick in now and pop your head there if it's too low to come down. So you can take your head onto your brick. I'm talking the wrong way. Or you can come down onto your shoulder and your right ear. So this is quite a big twist already. If that's enough for you, or you're on your brick, then if you've got the brick there, please just stay and enjoy the twist as it is. But watch what everybody's doing. If you find your left hip has moved over to the left, draw it back towards the right. You still want to feel that knee-hip connection on both sides. Still want to feel that both knees are being used to support you. Okay, so we've been here some time now, but those that want to see if they can twist a little bit further now, take your right hand and just take it a little, about a hand's distance forward. Left hand, the one that you're using for support. Gently push into it and do the same thing we did in Balasana. So look now under your left armpit. So you're putting in a bit bigger twist now. You should feel this up your left side body. It might be quite strong feeling. So it's again, you're twisting through the left side body, something to contract to twist. Feel the openness of your right side body. And then release. And then we're going to bring that hand back to where it was in front of your face, and we're going to draw ourselves back up through. Put the twist in the other way again, take the right hand up, reach up as far as is comfortable, and then bring that hand back down. So we're going to take the other side now. If you use the brick there, please keep it handy to do the other side. Okay, same thing. Remember your knees are a bit further apart. We're going to the other side now. So we're going to take the weight into the right hand, and we're going to draw the left hand across the floor and sweep it up in a big semicircle, bringing in that twist, excuse me. And then we're drawing the left hand down, can't get the right tonight. Draw it through under your right arm, let the elbow soften, bring your head down, either to the brick or to the ground. So already we've really opened that left shoulder. It might be strong enough for you. Everybody take the focus back to their hips and see what's happened. Where's the weight gone into? Are your knees feeling even? If not, draw the hip back. It's probably gone over to the right, so draw it back. And then if you're happy there, then just stay there for a moment and breathe. Use the exhale as we've done a minute ago. If you want to go a little bit further, take the right hand about a hand's distance in front of where it was. Gently press into it. Use that to torque yourself a little bit to look under your right armpit. So we've twisted a bit further up through the upper thoracic spine now and into the cervical spine. And then release. Bring the hand back in front of your face if you'd moved it. Everybody lift gently back up through, open up again the other way in the twist. Release that shoulder off a little bit on the left hand side, and then bring your hands back down to the floor. Sink your bottom back to your heels. Come back into Balasana. You might want to do wide leg there, so bring your big toes together. Your knees are slightly apart anyway. Wide leg Balasana, either using the brick under your forehead or taking your forehead to the floor. Forearms are on the floor, a lot closer to you. Bring your elbows right in close towards your knees. And then just let your shoulders release. Quite a lot of power in that twist through your shoulders, you'll notice. Can you feel the energy that we built up in the shoulders in that twist? Not an awful lot in the lower back, but this whole of the spine was being used there. Okay, so we're going to come up now to tabletop again, and then you're going to need your bricks handy here at the front of the mat. So we're into it tabletop. The bricks are at the front because we're going to move into low lunge. So rock your hips back and bring your right foot forward into low lunge. Okay, so find your alignment first of all. Make sure you're not zipping off to one side or the other. So look under and check where your left knee and foot are. You should be able to see your foot, and it should be going directly backwards, your knee from your hip bone, basically, hip joint. Okay, and your toes are pointing forward on the front foot. We should be able to lift them, remember, and your knee is over your ankle. Okay, so we're going to bring the bricks in. It can be tall bricks or it can be a bit lower. You can use the floor here, but we won't get quite as good a twist. So we're going to take the brick that's in your right hand and we're going to bring it in front of to the other side of the right foot, so inside the right foot. Okay, and we don't really need the left one at the moment. And we're going to do our Robin Hood arms again. So we're going to draw that left arm up, bend the elbow and come into your Robin Hood. And then think of opening that top arm and lifting up and following the fingers to look up behind you. And then big semicircle back down. So take another one on this side, draw the hand up across the chest, Robin Hood style, bow and arrow, take the hand up, look up if you're comfortable doing so, and then release in a big semicircle. Okay, so we're going to take that right brick now and pop it on the other side. Try it again with the brick on the other side. See how you find it now. So draw it up and lift the arm. Now what's happening with that thigh? Is it wandering? So draw the knee back towards your back arm, towards your right arm. Quite a lot more difficult that way. Sweep the arm back down. That was just to see the difference. And then take the right foot back. Take yourself back into child's pose for a minute. Big, open, stretched, long child's pose. Extended. And then come back up and we'll take that on the other side. So rock back, bring the left foot forward. You know where we're going now. So we can bring the brick inside the left foot. You don't need the right one anymore. And then we're going to draw up into our Robin Hood. So we're using our right elbow here and can't get my right and left. Draw the hand back down the big semicircle, take another one. We're using our left elbow and the inside of our left thigh to push gently against each other to help us into this twist. So if you find that connection, you might find you get a bit bigger of a twist, a bit bigger twist coming in. So draw one more time. Think connecting your elbows pushing backwards, your legs pushing inwards. So it's forearm really, upper arm rather than elbow. And then come back down. Try it on the other side of your foot. Just experience the difference. Draw up and open. So in me, that's gone right down into my left hip. So much more difficult. The twist has moved really from my shoulders to my hips. Okay, where are we for time? Okay. So then we're going to sit back again, have a bit of a stretch out with your bricks in front of you this time. So go into Balasana. Might want to keep your head up if it's more comfortable. But if you do, tuck your chin and lengthen the back of the neck to hold the weight of your head. But pop your hands onto your bricks. If you don't want to do this, please take your hands to the floor. But otherwise, take your hands onto the bricks and just see if you can slightly move the bricks away, slide them away and extend a bit more through your armpits and side bodies. And breathe. Don't forget the breath. Quite hard to do the belly breath in this position because your tummy is quite connected to your thighs. Move your breath into the back of your body. Find your back ribs. If you can move your breath right down to your lower back. Feel your hips expand across the back of your body. And then release your hands, you'll have to push up, bring the bricks in a little bit closer, put your hands to the floor carefully. And then we're going to come up again, and we're going to come up with the bricks near us, and we're going to come up and try a bigger one this time. So we're going to go for Trikonasana. So tuck the toes, come up to standing. So we're going to go into this in a much easier fashion today, I think. We'll use the bricks, everybody. So step forward so that your feet are between the bricks, and then step back with your left foot and come into kind of warrior one stance. So that's about the distance you want between your feet. Your foot is landed where it probably feels comfortable, but make sure you find the edge of that back foot. You don't want your feet both pointing forward. You do want your back foot at a slight angle in this position. The front foot at the moment has got a bent knee, but I'm just going to move forward now and straighten that front leg. So I'm moving my body over the front leg. So I'm coming into a kind of pyramid, but I'm kind of twisted at the same time. So try and rotate your ribs to come into more of a pyramid feeling here. Your back foot still feels a little bit strange for that. And then reach forward and find one of the bricks and pop it inside your right foot. So your right hand is on that brick. I'm going tall here. You can take it a bit lower if you want to, but you don't need to. And then we're going to take a Robin Hood again. So we're going to take the left hand, cross the body, draw the bow and arrow up, take the elbow up in line with the shoulder, and then take that hand up above your head. And you can either then keep it there, or you can tuck your hand behind your back. And then think of rotating that top shoulder, everybody. And push gently into that brick, just to find a little bit more rebound off the brick. Make sure both feet are connected, that you haven't really moved forward. And we want to try and open up this side body. So we're really thinking of rounding and moving this body upwards. Sorry, I'm watching myself in a minute. So we've got a hand behind our back or up above. But you're thinking of rotating that top shoulder and bringing it to stack it on top of the other one. So big, big pose. You can keep your knee bent if you want to in this. Sorry, I didn't say that, but you can if you want to, if it's too strong for your legs in this position. Now think of your tummies. So draw the tummy in and the hips forward. So you're still opening up this front body here. And then let that hand come down, wherever it was. Look forward again, move the brick behind you. You can take this and try it in this position, see how it feels behind your foot then. So draw the elbow up again. And open. See how that feels. Does it feel better for you or not? It really depends on you, this, not me. And then release. And then bend that front knee. Bring the other brick in just as a bit of support, really, and step forward into Uttanasana. Let the body hang. And then we're coming back up to try it on the other side. So I'm going to turn round the other way. So slowly let the eyes come along the floor. Roll back up to standing. Take your time, take it easy. Make sure the bricks are between your feet again. Step back this time with your right foot. Find where your foot wants to land. It's kind of warrior one distance. We're on a kind of train track rather than a tightrope, remember. And you want to find that back edge of the back foot. Rotate the ribs forward, just like we do in warrior one. And then let that front knee come back, but don't lock it. Then find your hip hinges, move forward. This is the way we should have gone in a minute ago, probably. And then find the bricks. So we've got both bricks here. We want to take the brick in your left hand and bring it in to the other side of the foot. So it's in the inside of your left foot. Let go of the other brick at the moment. We don't need it. And we're going to do Robin Hood arms now. Gently pushing through your left hand as you start to rotate. Think long though. Think long through your crown. Rotating, stacking shoulders, lifting the arm up or taking it behind your back, whichever's more comfortable. Think of that top shoulder, everybody, roll it. Think of that bottom, move it forward, tuck the tummy, lengthen through the front body. If you want to, you can look down the way. It's a lot less strain on your neck. Or you can look up if you want to really put the twist in through, up through your cervical spine as well. But do everything gently with your neck, please. And then let the hand come up. Big semicircle back down. And then take that brick and pop it behind your foot. Let's just experience it on this side and on the outside of the foot. So drawing the elbow up again. Rotating. Take the hips forward, remember, top shoulder back, and behind your back if it's more comfortable. And then rotate, big semicircle back round. So I can't really tell you, step forward, sorry, legs come together. And back up to the top into Tadasana. I can't really tell you how you experience twists because we're all quite different and each side of us is different. So I'm trying to just let you think about where the twists are and which ones you resonate with best. It may be that actually on the outside you find that easier. So I can't really say that for you. Okay, so we're into Tadasana. We're going to come back down to the floor now. So tuck the chin, tuck the tummy, hands to the thighs, let everything roll forward. We're going to stop and ragdoll here. So when you get down, and you can bend your knees as much as you want to here, but when you're down and you feel that you've got to where you want to go, take a hold of both elbows into a sort of square shape with your arms. Let your head just hang then. Think about your crown. See if you can let it come down so that it's actually parallel to this floor. Think about your sit bones. See if you can just gently maybe move them up slightly. And opening up the back of the legs, the back of the hips. And then draw the tummy in and see if you can just find your pelvis and let everything pour out a little bit more from there. Making a bit more space by drawing the tummy in so that everything falls out of that pelvic bowl. Lengthening through the spine. Finding those spaces again in between them. Lengthening through the back of the body. And then bring your hands to the floor, everybody. Remember, you might be feeling a little dizzy now, so open the eyes, connect to the floor. Look along and bring your knees to the floor one by one. Sit down to one side and bring yourself down onto your back again. So we've done lots of twisting here, so let's just see how we get on. Have your bricks handy in case you want some support in this as well. It is a cool down, so we're not forcing ourselves, but just see how much space you've made in your body through twisting for this twist. So we're going to draw our right knee into chest and our left knee into chest, into Apanasana. So hands, give yourself a squeeze behind your thighs or on your shins, just a little bit of a squeeze in Apanasana. Have a little bit of a rock, drawing your knees in and letting them go. Just letting the back, the lower back, have a bit of a massage there. And the belly at the same time. So we're going to keep the knees close to the chest. Take the hands out to the side. Hands can be facing down, which gives you a lot more support. Make sure there's room for you to twist here. Draw your tummies in, engage your tummy muscles and see how close you can keep your knees towards your chest. And then we're going to slowly start to go over towards your left-hand side. Now it's easier maybe if you put your knees and ankles and thighs together. Not for me, but it might be for you. So try that if you find it's a little bit difficult. Otherwise, everybody roll over to your left side. Let your right shoulder come with you. If you want to pop a brick under your legs, then please do so now. Otherwise, see if you can find the floor with your left thigh and your left leg. So your right shoulder will have come right off the floor possibly now. That's fine. We're twisting in the lower half of the spine in this position. Find your breath again and try and use your exhale on that lower hip as we did before. So breathing right down deeply into the lower belly. Focus on that lower hip. Don't worry about shoulders. We're not working on the shoulders today. See if you can release the lower hip. See if your legs might move slightly when you do that. That's fine. And then focus on the top hip with your exhale. And see if you can let it go a little bit more. Maybe your belly softens as well. Maybe you've got your left hand on your right thigh, just using that as a little bit of a weight. Keep you in this position. Maybe if you focus on that hand then, that your legs will let go a bit because they feel they're connected to something. And how does that twist now feel through your waist and through your right side body? Is your shoulder beginning to give a little bit? Feel that tight fascia on the right side starting to give a little bit more. So we're going to come out of this twist. So draw your knees in towards your chest. Engage your tummy muscles. Use your left hand to support you a little bit. Roll back up to center. Take your hands to your knees and do some Apanasana circles. So let your hips circle by stirring the pot with your knees. One way and then the other. And then we're going to go the other way. So draw the knees in again. Decide whether you feel better knees and thighs and ankles together. If not, keep them slightly separate. And then roll over to your right. Keeping the knees as close to your chest and that feeling that they're still up high rather than letting them lower too far. Use the brick again if you need some support, please. See if you can get your legs onto the floor and let your left shoulder just come with you. And again, you might take your focus to what your legs and hips are doing. Are they really still holding on? If you can use your breath to soften that whole tension thing that's going on there. Use your exhale to tell your legs that it's okay. You haven't fallen over. They're fine. They can release. You know what you're doing. Is this side more easeful? Is it easier when you know what you're doing the second time you do it? What's happened with that left shoulder? As soon as you think about it, does it let go a little bit more? Okay, so draw your knees to your chest, switch on your tummy muscles, use your right hand to support you and roll back up to center. Hands to your knees again, and then just draw your knees gently towards you and then gently away from you. So start to bring it with the breath. We exhale as we bring the knees towards us. So inhale, let your knees go away from you. Exhale, bring the knees towards you. And then take the feet one at a time to the floor. Stretch the legs away from you. Take a full body stretch now, both hands above the head. Don't need to have your elbows straight. You can have bent elbows. Just have a bit of a stretch through the side bodies. You might want to go right and left. Do what feels comfortable. Walk your hands over to the right. And walk your feet over to the right and have a bit of a stretch through your left side body in Pranayama. And then walk over to center and back to the other side and have a bit of a stretch in Pranayama on the other side. And then come back to center. Find the balance point. Draw everything back to center. Come back to Shavasana. Let your feet fall out. Let your palms face up. We're only here for a minute or two, but let's take the time. We can in Shavasana. Obviously, you can always stay in Shavasana. You'll know that longer if you have the time after class. Please do. So find that breath again. Take deep breaths right down to your belly. Feel the belly soften. Feel everything else soften on the exhale. And listen to your body. Find the balance on your shoulders. Find the balance in the ribs, front and back. Find the balance in your abdominal area, in the back of your body. Notice the symmetry in your legs and your arms. And notice the difference as well. Maybe one shoulder feels slightly higher or tighter, one hip joint may be different from the other. Maybe you're still holding, or maybe that's just you. We're not all perfect. Very few of us are. Release any tension in your jaw. Have a little smile and thank yourself for taking the time to balance yourself physically tonight. Take another deep breath and exhale. And thank yourself for connecting to your breath and finding the balance there. And then find that space that you've made in your head and the balance and ease that you've brought to yourself just by being on the mat. And thank yourself for taking the time to practice. Well done, everybody. When you're ready, have a stretch or a wriggle or a rock and roll. Do whatever your body feels it needs to do just to release anything else that you're still holding on to. You may feel quite tired in the back of your body or in the front of your body or your shoulders. There may be points of you that feel really quite tired after a twist class. It does feel like you're a bit wrung out sometimes. So do take it easy tonight. Take it slowly now as you roll over to your side. Take your time to adapt and then bring yourself up to sitting. There can be a lot of resonance, I think, from a twist class. You use most of the muscles probably in your body and in your legs and arms. So do take your time tonight. Take it slowly and easy. And maybe have a couple of stretches when you're waking up in the morning before you come to class. Okay, so thank you everybody for your twisting. Let's twist again like we did last summer. Thanks very much for coming and see you in the morning and namaste.